Now we begin Chapter 4, my most hated chapter in the entire fucking game, because it's focused around Picadon Jungle, the stage I hate the most. Now what I hate about Picadon Jungle is the enemies. I hate both bosses in Picadon Jungle, and pretty much everything about it, including the layout. The first thing you have to do is go to Pepper's Grill to actually continue with the story, so if you didn't rescue her, you're fucked. You probably have to go all the way back to Mount Harar. What Pepper wants you to do is get her some Angry Angler so she can make Angry Angler Hell Stew, which is a dish that she makes in the shop. Before we do that though, we have to learn how to fillet a fish by copying her ability. Now just killing the fish isn't enough, you actually have to kill it with this ability. And this ability does a lot of damage to Angry Anglers. It also only costs 5 MP, so it might be the ability that costs the least MP in the game. This is the level up I got from the boss. I'm going to use it to focus on duplicating like always, get focus and MP. Focus and MP are pretty much all you ever need. And I'm trying to get focus up as much as I can so I don't have to do too much grinding, but I'm going to have to do grinding no matter what. Begin Musashi's level up near the end of the game though. I'm pretty sure I have to do it on the second visit of this too, because I don't have enough to get Karmic Circle. So now we're going to visit the princess and get one of the best items in the game.
Well, hello, Musashi.
Hi, princess. How are ya?
I'm just fine. How about you?
I'm pretty good. For now, anyway.
Glad to hear it. What brings you here?
Oh, nothing really. I just thought I'd look in on you. See how you're doing.
I'm flattered. It's so nice of you to come by. You're just in time for tea. Won't you join me?
Why, princess, I'd be honored. That's right.
You did, didn't you? Musashi, I've been thinking. I really feel terrible about all the trouble I've caused you by summoning you here.
Forget about it. I was in the market for a fresh challenge anyhow. It lets me try out new techniques. And besides, this isn't such a bad place.
Thank you.
Things might be rough for a while, but don't give up. Well, I'd better get going. Thanks for the tea and goodies.
You're welcome. Oh, I have something for you. Please, keep it with you always.
Thanks. I will.
Now the princess gets kidnapped later in the game, so that cutscene and getting the item is probably missable. You should get it as soon as possible. I mean, princesses in games always get kidnapped. Don't know if Mario started that, but that's just how it is. Video game logic. And I head to the arena, and I'm going to cut this part really big, because I do this arena fight and I fail it 3 times, and I'm trying to get the item that reduces the MP cost of the Sword of Fire by half. But I fail it 3 times, and I don't feel like sitting here for 8 minutes commentating my failures. So that was me completely cutting out about 3 arena fight failures. If I'd kept them in, that would have been about like 8 minutes, around there. So instead of having people sit through that and having me commentate through it, I'm just going to continue on with the objective. And I wanted to get that item to reduce the Sword of Fire's MP cost by half, because it would help in Picadon Jungle. Now if I had grinded just a slight bit, I'd be able to get the item, because I get it after I finish Picadon Jungle, but it loses its purpose after that. But yeah, this is Picadon Jungle, the stage I hate the most in the entire fucking game. I hate everything about this stage, from the enemies to the bosses Now within the first 2 to 3 minutes of playing the stage again, I actually die to a Shadow Beam, which is really common in my playthroughs, really unfortunate as well. After you walk out for about 3 or 4 seconds, you're going to get a cutscene.
Tell me.
What? Who are you? Not your average Joe, I bet.
What brings you here? Are you one of Gandrake's goons?
I can't stand Gandrake. I'm just here looking for angry anglers. Know where I can find some?
Angry anglers? What do you want them for?
For some stew.
Angry angler hill stew, eh?
How'd you know? Who are you anyway?
It's dangerous here. Head back as soon as you've caught your angler. And just so you know, that fish tastes awful.
Hey! Gone already. Wouldn't want to get on her bad side.
So the first thing we're going to do is rescue this mystic. And this guy doesn't really play a purpose in the story.
I owe you one.
Actually, he might be required to trigger a cutscene for Mana Temple, now I think about it. Because I think he's the person that you're forced to talk to get to the second visit of Mana Temple, but I'm not completely sure on that. And the little things that you see charging me, you get an ability from that I get later. And they're the thing that I died to in the first 3 minutes while playing this level. Those are Shadow Beams, and they have killed Musashi countless fucking times. They're probably my most hated enemy in the game too, just for how many times they've killed me and how hard they are to fight. Now this part actually wastes a lot of time because I'm trying to figure out if Musashi has enough focus to get Karmic Circle. And I'm also not sure if Karmic Circle is needed to actually beat the game as well, but I get it regardless because I'm getting every ability, every chest, pretty much everything. As you see, the bar is red, which means I don't have enough focus no matter what I do to copy this ability. And I was trying to see how much focus I had, because there's items you can buy later on that increase your focus temporarily for a certain amount of time. And if I had bought that item, I probably could have duplicated the ability. They really don't last that long either, they last like 20-15 seconds, so you have to be really fast. And if you fuck up on trying to duplicate the ability and you reset the bar, that's probably enough time to not get it. Now the first visit in Pecorino Jungle is not that bad except for the boss, but the second visit is probably the part of the game I don't want to go back to no matter what I have to do. Each stage in the game is something that Gandrake's minions have control over. Like, Malbec eventually just tries to seize control of this whole place. You already met Rothschild in Wellspring Woods. Pretty sure he's responsible for managing that tower. There was Glog, who was responsible for managing Rogue Fort Mine. The guy with the red hair, I don't even remember his name, he's just that forgettable. He was responsible for just doing stuff from Mount Terroir. On your second visit to Pecorino Jungle, Malbec changes the whole place in like a matter of 5 minutes. I mean, what used to be a nice, somewhat okay jungle becomes an absolute hell. So the mystic we rescued there is just a performer, and she's required for a side quest, and because I'm doing 100% of this game and doing everything I can, I'm going to be doing that side quest later. Now the reason I jumped off there, even though I may not be faster, is because I don't want to deal with the enemies on my way back. By jumping down there, I just avoided them completely. And this room is one of the harder rooms in this stage as well. I've died on this room a lot. It's usually the shadow beans, but almost all my deaths on the stage are usually the shadow beans, so that's not really much of an excuse. Now the reason I died of shadow beans is because their attacks have a lot of priority. When they do their little charging attack that you can actually duplicate, they catch up to you pretty fast. I'm not able to outrun them, I'm not able to out-prioritize them with my attacks. They start swarming Musashi, and if I guard, he usually dies. The Sword of Fire's attack will generally 2 to 3 shot them because it does extra damage to them. Like the Sword of Fire does a lot of extra damage to a lot of enemies on the stage in particular. Which is why you should get the item that reduces the cost of the MP attack by half. But I couldn't get it because I fucked up the arena fight like 3 or 4 times because I wasn't a high enough level. I didn't have a high enough attack to actually succeed in beating the arena fight. Now there's shadow beans everywhere too. There's not just like 1 or 2 of them. And at one point I just decide that I'm just going to use all my MP to kill them. Because I've died to them too many times and I just don't feel like risking it, even though Musashi does a lot in this level. Now the enemy right here, it requires 150 focus to duplicate its ability, and I'm going to duplicate the ability at the end of the game. If you use the Sword of Fire's triangle attack against it, which is the one time the triangle attack is actually useful in the game, aside from opening Mystic's castles, it does a lot of damage. Now you can use the MP